Okay, this is the Sara Plus. This machine, your patient has to be able to initiate standing, which means they have a MAT score of at least 2. This machine is battery powered and it will help you to get your patient into a standing position if they're unable to stand independently. It has a 420-pound weight limit and just a few parts of the equipment before we demo it. It is battery powered. The battery is removable. To remove it, just hit the tab on the battery and lift the whole thing out. They are rechargeable. To check the life of the battery, turn the machine on by hitting the green button. Around the side here is your indicator light. If I hit any button on either the remote control or the machine itself, the battery will run through its course and then give you an indicator. Green, you're good. Yellow, red, or orange, we want to change out the battery. There are brakes on the wheels. The brakes we will show you while we're doing the demonstration. When you raise your patient up, we're going to engage them. When we lower your patient back down, we're going to keep them off. This machine will raise your patient up and lower them back down. If for some reason there is a malfunction and the battery either dies or stops functioning, we can use this red tab to kill the life of the battery, then turn this dial here down to the side, to the left, and this will manually lower your patient back down just in case the machine is not functioning correctly. Okay, so our slings. Your slings here are reusable, so we can wipe them down and use them with another patient. To size these to our patients, we want to look at the positioning of these colored loops. The sizing for the loops, we can match to a key, which is on the machine. Yellow is a medium. When I put this behind my patient, I want to be able to read the RJO logo. It should be facing up. I'm going to have my patient, who is seated in the chair, lean forward a little bit, and I'm going to place the sling behind him. If your patient is able to, have them cinch the belt. You're going to cinch the belt tight, and then grab the sling and pull to the front so you can see the positioning of those yellow loops. The positioning should be at the front of his hips, which is currently exactly where it should be. If it is too big, we either need to size down, or we can take a pillow, put it behind our patient, and then put the sling around the patient to take up that extra slack. However, if it is too small, we are not able to use that sling with that patient. Okay. So the legs of the machine, just like the Sara Steady, will open and close. And just like the Sara Steady, that is just to get around things, to navigate your environment. So I'm going to open up the legs of the machine, going to approach my patient, and just like the Sara Steady, I'm going to have him put his feet up on that footrest. Then I'm going to slide in the shin rest until it is rested against his shins. The first few steps of this machine are exactly the same as the Sara Steady. This is the most underutilized piece of equipment in the hospital. And I think if we can remember that the first few steps are just like the Sara Steady, it will help us when we're going to use it. Okay, now I'm going to lock my brakes. Now I need to attach the sling to the machine. To do this, I have my rope here. On one side is this black ball, on the other side I have a cup and a cone. If I lift the black ball up, now I can give myself some slack. I have my cone and my cup. My cone is going to go through the colored loop of the sling. Then I'm going to drop that cone into the cup, and I'll hear a little click. I'm going to come around the other side and do the same thing on this side. Raise up the black ball to give myself some slack. Going to drop my cone. I'm going to bring it through the yellow loop and drop it into the cup. Now I'm going to have my patient place his arms up on this armrest and lean forward as though he's initiating standing. Now I'm going to take up all of this slack so that when we raise him up in the machine, it's more of a natural standing position and a comfortable one. Okay? So now that he is attached to the sling and he is attached to the machine, we're going to help to raise our patient up to a standing position. Our machine has been turned on. The brakes are currently locked. I'll come around the side and have my patient initiate standing. So on 3, we're going to stand. 1, 2, 3. Bring your patient up until they're in a comfortable standing position. And now we can move our patient from one place to another, just like the Sara Steady. So I would unlock my brakes, use good body mechanics because this machine is heavier than the Sara Steady. and then move your patient through the environment. I can close the legs of the machine to make it easier to navigate. And when I turn this machine is heavier than the Sara Steady, so it's important that we come around to the side and push in the direction that we're gonna go. This machine is stable and is designed to catch your patient in the event of an emergency. So let's say that our patient were to potentially faint. You want to faint for me, patient? This shin rest has springs in it, and it will catch your patient in the event of some kind of an emergency like this, where my patient has passed out, okay? As long as they're hooked up correctly to the machine, they are very safe and very stable. Now I can return my patient to the seated position, bring him back to the chair, and on the way down, we're actually going to leave the brakes unlocked because the machine will adjust as needed. So I can get my remote control, come around the side, and have my patient initiate sitting. On 3, we're going to sit. 1, 2, 3. Lower your patient down until he safely returns to the seat. And then we're going to unhook the sling, just like we did to attach him to it, just in reverse. The sling is then going to be cleaned and placed with the machine and returned to its location.